Hi everyone, this is Willie Carter speaking again. Welcome to my tutorial of the FSX Team version of the Boeing 737. I've selected a good download today, which is a real good memorabilia one. It's the New Zealand National Airways Corporation, NAC, which operated within New Zealand on New Zealand mainline trunks between 1965 until April of 1978, when it merged with Air New Zealand as a domestic carrier. Now I'm going to show you the ins and outs of the Boeing 737. This one here is actually a 738 model, which is an up-to-date version where they had 737-200s. And as you can see, if you look at the tail, there's a Godwick on the tail, and the tail, which is orange and red, it used to be just a red and white stripe all the way down the aircraft here, where you can see my mouse cursoring here. This is just all red, and the tail was deep white with a deep red with the Godwick. The winglets went on these 737s, and National Airways was painted NAC, Wings of the Nation, on some of them, and others just a complete word, National Airways. So I'll just go around the other side of the aircraft so you can have a full look at it. Okay, I'm going to show you different shots of the aircraft now, so you can become familiar with it. Okay, here is the landing gear. This is actually underneath the aircraft, with number 1 on the side there, and the number 2 engine just underneath the undercarriage there. And we go to the tail section. This is from looking at the back end of the aircraft. And this is the left side window, the main leading edge flap with the main wings, as you can see. As you can see, I've deployed them down so they tilt downwards, and then we have the right side, which is facing runway 34, the main runway at Wellington International Airport. And for you that don't know, this is the horizontal stabilizer, the main leading edge flap, the wings. As you can see, they move in, they move out, sort of thing. Okay. This is the flight deck. Okay, now we're back with the aircraft. I'll do a complete 360 of the aircraft so we can look at it from above. The 737 became quite a good little city jet and an economical one, from the 737 first prototype 100 to the 737-900 today. It's quite a smart, unique little jet. Okay, now that we've seen there, what I'm going to do is take you to the inside of the aircraft, the operational side, and so you get an idea of what it actually looks like in the flight deck. It gives sort of a detail to what real lifetime aircraft look like, but this is a simulation, so there will be a variable difference in instrumentations. Okay, now we're inside the flight deck. As you can see, we can see all the controls up here. Up here, these two little buttons are the anti-ice buttons. This is engine 1 and engine 2, as you can see. And then we've got all the other sources like control panels, horizontal stabilizers, airspeed, fire, ignition speed. Here we have the cool buttons, non-smoking buttons. This is actually the GPS, not the GPS, sorry, the APU, which actually turns the aircraft on. These lights here, we have a TCAS light, which is the beacon light, which is the little red light on the top of the aircraft, which is a collision light. The strobe light underneath the aircraft, that's the little red light you can see when the aircraft is in the air at night. And we have the logo, which is for the tail. These are the wipers for the wiper area. Over here we have the taxi light, the storm runway lights for these aircraft, and the main landing lights as well, and undercarriage lights. And this up here is the crossfeed. When you open, you can transfer fuel across from one to another. So they're both open like that. At the moment we haven't got the aircraft on, just because I'm going over a few particulars with you of the aircraft itself. Now, as you can see further up the back here, it's got its own navigation system where you can plot courses and everything like that. These areas here, they're the spoilers for the aircraft. The yaw damper, which is part of the wing area, I presume. Over here, all of these functional lights here are warning lights, oil gauges, etc. And these are your anti-ice, as I said before. And these are all your hydraulic and sort of gauges that you need here. And this is the emergency escape route for pilots if they need to get out. They crash land, hopefully not. And that's the back door to the aircraft. And that's the emergency open chute here. This only comes out when it's being deployed. In event of a crash landing, they can jump out. Okay, now bring you back this way. We're going to sort of look down at the main controls here. Now, a lot of you wonder, you know, what it takes to get these little things up there. Well, it's not actually quite a lot. So I'll go through some of these. This here is your course heading. So when you select a course or a flight path, you know exactly where you are. At the moment, like down here, this is your heading. You're on 132, which you would presumably put that up here, which is your heading over here, and the course would change as well. Now this is your flight director. This should always be on when the aircraft is on, or if you've completely shut it down, it can stay off. And then you've got your auto throttle, which you like your spoilers. This is your speed indicator here. Normally the aircraft can get up to 325 knots. This is your heading. This is your altitude. So if you do 100, and then your vertical speed, which actually, this actually brings the aircraft up in the air, points it up into the sky. So that's what the pilot set it upon. Okay, then you've got your automatic pilot, and then your course, which is exactly the same as this, and your heading. This little indicator here is showing you how much flaps you've got. At the moment it's only on 10. This is your actual engine, so this gives you exactly how much oil pressure you got, how much fuel is on board reserve, which is actually your middle tank, number 1 and number 2 engine, which should be the same in fuel. This is your air speed indicator, which tells you, you know, you're going up in knots or miles per hour, whatever it is you want to do. And this is your VOR indicator, which you communicate with the airport if it's got ILS. Some airports in New Zealand don't have ILS, so you have to depend upon your VORs. This is your altitude, so the aircraft at the moment is on the ground, so below that is ground, this is the sky, so we're sitting on 0 altitude, and that's your time clock. Okay, this is your heading, so we know the aircraft here, and you see this little wee blue light, that is NZWN, which represents New Zealand Wellington Airport. Okay, down here further. Okay, these are your throttles. That's for your braking. And this is your, obviously your steering wheel. See how your throttles are working. Pull back on the stick, pull forward. And this actually sets the wings as well. Over here, this is your throttles. Okay, the throttles is to make the aircraft go up and more power, and to bring it back down. This little thing here is your spoiler. So when you pull back on that, your flaps on your wings, they come out. So I'll just show you. There they are there. These are your spoilers, so they come up when they're on reverse thrust, when the aircraft's trying to slow down off the runway. Okay. Sorry. And these are your flaps, so it gives you the full extended flaps. Or the flaps will go back up, which means you know that's into the normal position. Which you can see, this little dial here, it goes back. As you can see, it's moving. That's the flaps going back in. So there they are there. They've just gone back to where they are. Mostly on the ground they do this. Okay, so that's what that area is. Down here further, this is your engine number 1 and 2 start, which they start the aircraft with. These are your ATC instrument controls. So this is active, and as you can see, the little lights that appear, this is your radio communication to you and tower. And here we have navigation, nav 1, nav 2. So when you plot a course, or you're going to an airport of any such description, you'd just put that in. See, like, say for example, Wellington is 109.9. So to communicate with the ILS and tower, and then you punch that in. And you can hear that little wee beeping sound. Okay, that's your navigation. That's showing you that you are active on their system. Okay, we're going to go to a 3D panel so I can show you a lot better. And we'll talk about this navigation. Okay, I've just switched over to 109.90. Now when you plot a course, say for example we're going to go up to Auckland, or you're going to go to, say, Christchurch. Let's just say we'll go to Christchurch. Okay, so you've got to look them up on the map. 109. I'll just show it to you on the map. Alright, let's get out of this for a sec. And we'll go here. Okay, so you're on a navigation chart. As you can see, we're right at Wellington Airport. These little green lines are ILS. So they're the runway, landing runways. Okay, as you get in, this is runway 34.